Corfu is a Greek cruise port with class, charm, and terrific traveler support. In this video, we go over the usual port basics and tips for taxi tours, rentals, and getting to and wandering around Old Town. Let's get into it. I'm Troy, and this is the Port Lowdown. Corfu is a Greek island in the Ionian Sea northwest of mainland Greece. Corfu is considered Europe's gateway to Greece, being directly east of Italy. Greener, and with a long history of revolving rulers, it has a rich and varied history. Lots of points of interest here for a small island. The Achilleion Palace, Paleokastritsa, the beautiful and easily accessed Old Town, not to mention fun in the sun with beaches, sailing, hiking, and ATV. Or do nothing. It's certainly a beautiful place for it. You dock at the new port, 1 mile west of the Old Town. The dock is pretty long, where a roughly 10-minute walk will take you to 300 yards to the terminal building. There's a free shuttle bus that can get you there in about a minute, which runs on a loop all day. Picks you up right in front of the ship and takes you to the terminal building entrance. Lots of folks, however, opted to walk, and it's not a bad idea if you can. On our cruise, many handicapped visitors had to wait on ship because the shuttle buses kept getting full. So, if you can, enjoy the walk, especially if it's cooler in the morning. Flat and easy, just no shade. I saved the shuttle bus for when I returned to the ship, when it was less crowded. When you're heat exhausted, like I was, it was certainly a welcome option. These tents and benches are a nice touch, but hardly used on the day we were there. This QR code connects to this site, which has some useful stuff like bus info, along with the usual sponsored content. In fact, the Port Authority makes an effort to keep things easy and convenient, like this reference sign. Tour buses meet just past the main dock. Entering the smallish, older terminal building, you'll find services right away. Maps and info just as you walk in. Small cafe and sundry store with mostly food and drinks. And Mad Max. Can anyone explain this to me? Certainly not this one. There's also a first aid station on site. The terminal gets quite clogged up since both cruisers and ferry passengers going to Italy and beyond use this general purpose terminal. Pre-arranged tours also meet here, all in one small building. The bathrooms are a bit ragged, on the opposite end of the building near the ferry ticket counters. Broken and graffiti-riddled doors, but serviceable if need be. Back near the cafe on the other end are 3 useful counters. The Ho-Ho bus desk to book their tours, Royal Car Rentals, which has some solid reviews on Google, and the Corfu Taxi Desk, which also had solid Google feedback where you can call a taxi for tours. Now my wife, son, and in-laws opted for a 4-hour tour that included the holy monastery Panagia Vlacherna and monastery of Paleokastritsa, plus stopping at the Old Town for about €200 or $50 per person. These are group prices, so it's cost effective with more people. Now we're used to having cash on hand to pay the driver, but in this case you pay at the dispatcher's desk with a credit card. Euros are used here, of course, but it's still a good idea to have some on hand in addition to plastic. These prices are for standard packages, but you can fashion an itinerary to your needs and negotiate. Make sure to negotiate clearly with the dispatcher who speaks good English in the booth before you go into the taxi. Not all taxi drivers can communicate in English, so any last-minute adjustments might not be easy. Now my family had a perfect tour. It was fast and easy, with friendly service.
Thank you, have a good day, bye.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You have a good day as well.
The 2 monasteries are considered must-sees in Corfu. Panagia Vlacherna was a nunnery until 1980, but dates back to the 17th century. It's a tiny place accessed by walking a small pier. It's a famous site, used in numerous movies. Farther away, about 30 minutes west, is the mountaintop monastery of Paleokastritsa, with its iconic view of the ocean and beautiful and Instagrammable courtyard. This Byzantine monastery dates back to 1288 and includes a museum of rare icons, holy books, and other relics. Having a driver meant less walking, navigating windy roads, or finding parking, which at both sites was pretty limited. Plus, they enjoyed the sites at their own pace, away from a larger group. They were also free to negotiate their own preferences for lunch in the Old Town, instead of going to a pre-arranged store or restaurant. The driver waited for them while they had lunch, and took them back to the port. They were well taken care of. Plus, they rode in a new Mercedes, going in style. Bye, Bob. Bye. Have fun. Now, while they toured, I continued my port report. Duty calls. Stepping out, you'll notice the dispatch taxi and passenger pickup and drop-off area. There is a wheelchair ramp to one side. Not sure how to book this horse and carriage though. Sorry. For a simple non-tour taxi ride into town, expect to pay about €10. Exit the terminal, past the lines for island tours, into the parking lot area. Uber in Corfu operates as an app to call a taxi driver. See our link in the description for the website for full details and sample pricing. Now if you want to continue out, you'll need to turn left and follow the road for another 10 minutes or so to the gated exit. Next to the gate is where the ho-ho buses meet. I know, it's kind of far. Now step out of the exit gate facing the street. You can choose to turn left and walk for about 20 to 25 minutes to the Old Town, but hang on, there is another option. More on that in a minute. Or cross the street to Mantuki Square facing a restaurant, a Western Union, and ATM. It's also a bike, car, and scooter rental haven. Bear in mind, you don't need an international driver's permit here if you have your driver's license from a country that uses Romanized lettering, like English and most European languages. See the links in our description for details on these, as you can book ahead for most of them. I did find the streets just behind here an interesting stroll, with a Mastusa supermarket for basic necessities, a few local cafe pubs, and interesting back alleys. Now if you don't want to rent wheels or walk, but want an easy route to Old Town, take the local bus. When you step out of the terminal and turn left, you walk for about 5 minutes to this stop for town center. You'll use the blue bus which serves Corfu town. €2 one way or €5 for an all-day ticket, which you can pay at the front with euros or credit card. The bus stops every 10 to 15 minutes, although crowds might slow the schedule down a bit. It's not even a 5-minute ride one way. Although the buses are a bit small, there are numbers of them running all day and air-conditioned and comfortable. They even have wheelchair lifts to the side. Now, you may notice the cruise line offering expensive shuttle bus tickets. These drop off at exactly the same spot in Old Town, so before you pre-buy these on ship, do your homework. Can the cruise line beat €5? Going to Old Town seems to be the go-to destination for do-it-yourself travelers not doing a tour. Past the Spiglia Gate, the ancient entrance to the walled city, and you'll find lots to keep you busy, including the new Venetian fortress, Corfu Museum of Asian Art, Spianata Square, and the old fortress of Corfu, which strikes a grand presence when sailing past it. Not to mention loads and loads of shopping and restaurants, of course. Plus grocery stores, pharmacies, ATMs, just about anything you could need. Plus the occasional blast of AC, thank goodness. Olive oil and honey are a specialty here. By the way, if you enjoy exploring on your own while cruising, be sure to like and subscribe so you can easily come back and check out our other informative port videos, ship tours, and tips. The Old Town is perfect for wandering. Lots of back alleys to get lost in. Beautiful buildings, and lush views of the ocean. Sidewalks are marble slabs, but flat, not too slippery, and the restaurants are pretty great. Then I discovered this sunbathing spot down this road leading to Valeraki Cafe Restaurant, where sunbathers are on the sidewalks right at the water's edge. Feel free to join in, and the water is clear and inviting. Getting back, you take the bus from the same drop-off point and go back to the same bus stop at port. Depending on how late you get back, expect some crowds jamming into the tiny terminal. Corfu has that old-world elegance you see in picture postcards, or James Bond films. It's a classic Mediterranean port that's small, but like Athens, it's worth multiple trips. In fact, Athens is the classic Greek port. We have all the port basics for that one here in this video. And as always, leave a comment with your thoughts and questions. We'll do our best to answer you.